invite Dr. Meher Mishra for the first talk, please.
Thank you, Dr. Gitumani, for inviting me for this instruction course. It's a very important instruction course because the OT is the heart of the hospital for a surgeon. So whatever type of surgeon he is, how much proficient he is, still if the OT conditions and ambience is not good, there is always a chance of failures. So coming to the ophthalmic OT layout and design, no financial interest, whatever. So operation theater is that specialized facility of the hospital where life-saving or life-improving procedures are carried out on the human body by invasive methods under strict aseptic conditions in a controlled environment by specially trained personnel to promote healing and cure with maximum safety, comfort, and economy. So it is advised that the building team visits as many as other complexes as possible to determine what works and what are to be done, because that is very important when you start to design your OT or the infrastructure. And it is also a good idea to consult other eye nurses or professionals surrounding you or visiting some hospitals and building facilities which is already present and established, so that you know what's happening there also, to have more broader view. The more people involved in the design, that is a wide group of experts, including the architect, engineer, including the doctors also, that will be of much help. So there are certain regulatory bodies, because whenever we come to some infrastructure to be done, then a lot of rules, regulations comes in for the state and also the local bodies. So there are bodies which has to be contacted before that. The National Building Code is there for the infrastructure. The Indian standards are there, very much particular about the ophthalmic OT, which comes under the general OT category. So it depends on how many beds and what are the number of things you are actually wanting to in your hospital. So it is basically for a 30 to 100 bed category. We have IPHS, we have certain part 1, part 2, part 3 different sections for the different type of infrastructure which is required. So coming to the National Building Code is a unified regulation which has been made all over India. So hospitals are classified as group C1 in NBC. And coming to the different specifications it has in its book elaborately, depending on the type of infrastructure you want. That is the corridors, it has a specific area, doors width, staircase width, and fire exit doors. So these are all specified in that National Building Code very elaborately. So the architect or engineer who is responsible for building the infrastructure of the of your hospital, that he may take care of all these things, and we have to have some idea also about that, so that nothing goes wrong in that way. Coming to the fire and life safety, this is most important, because safety is the prime important whenever you come to any infrastructure building. Those are the classification of building as per safety, the type of construction which has to be done. These are all defined in that National Building Code. The general requirements like lifts, life safety is what are to be included in that, the fire zones, the fire protection, the evacuation process, the additional occupancy wise requirements. The annexures does have all the listings for what type of buildings should have what type of safety and where it should be there according to the floor wise. So detailed are given in this National Building Code. Coming to the NABH, if we are planning for a NABH accreditation in the future or presently also during the infrastructure, it's most ideal, because it's very difficult to change the infrastructure over time when you think of going for the NABH accreditation. So according to NABH, they have defined actually the guidelines for air conditioning in operation theater. That is revised one is 2018, the latest one. So it comes under type B, the general OT for ophthalmic OTs. That consists of daycare surgeries and other also basic surgical disciplines. So we have to basically think of the type B of the air conditioning. So coming to the specification of OT sizes, which are standard. So these are the minimum requirements which should be there ideally. So 20 into 20 into 10 feet, that should be there, with false ceiling to be considered in that. Occupancy, standard occupancy should be around 5 to 8% at any given point of time inside the OT. Equipment should be around 5 to 7 kilowatt per OT. It's not be more than that. and ambient temperature, humidity at each location to be considered while designing the system. So nowadays it's very easy to make up an OT because you have modular operation theater vendors are there. So it's not much of a headache, but the part of finances comes into play because it will be a slightly costly affair as compared to the normal OT which we are building. But if modular OT is done, then it will be ideal because it's a long-term investment. So coming to the location of OT, that is very important. You have to be segregated from a normal OPD, IPD, or diagnostic services along with any support services. So it should be away from the crowd basically and should be separate. So mixing or crisscross of patient flow should be always avoided in the OT area. It should not be mixed up. So planning has to be done. So ideal should be ground floor should be OPD, IPD, or diagnostic services, other services, and the OT should be confined to the first floor or a confined isolated area. So designing, there are various softwares which are available also, and of course this is not our part to do. So that is done by the architect and the designers. So they will take care of it. But we have to think of like our area and the infrastructure which we want, so we can just let them know what we want. So designing a safe environment should incorporate all the features that prevent and control risk of infection, fire, explosion, chemical and electrical hazards, because all these important things are included in the forming of the OT. So we should have well-designed, devised traffic patterns, material handling system, the disposal systems, the positive pressure and well-dispersed clean ventilation with high flow, unidirectional ventilation systems for special applications. So this will all contribute to a safe surgical environment. So coming to the layout at proper, so what it consists of actually, an operating suite, changing rooms, teaching rooms, storage, reception area, and restrooms. So coming to the operation suite, it consists of an anesthetic room, the clean preparation room, scrub up area, operating theater, a sluice room, that is the CSSD or the central sterilization department, and the exit bay. So components of the OT complex, other parts are equipment management, patient safety and infection control, medication management, safety goals, staff training and management, infra and suprastructure, patient process, admission, transfer and discharge. These are the logistic things which has to be taken care in the process of making of the OT, and proper space has to be given for this type of things which is required also along with the OT complex. So these are some of the varied types of OT models which we have for depending on the one OT or two OT or three OT. Some NPCB guidelines are also given exactly what will be the dimension and other things. And we have three parts here. One is the patient in and patient out to the operating system. This is the main core operating room. And we have the sterilization department here. And we have the nurses and the staff. So there are three parts which is important, and that goes to a common area, that is the operating room. So coming to the zones, they are made because it segregates the very type of septic, aseptic, and the common areas. So it is basically depending on the cleanliness and which the bacteriological count progressively diminished from the outer to the inner zones, or to the non-septic to the aseptic zones. So that comes to the differential decreasing positive pressure ventilation gradient from the inner to the outer zone. So it consists of an outer zone, clean zone, aseptic zone, and a disposal zone. I'll be coming to detail. So outer zone is a reception area, admission area, common. Then comes the clean zone, that is a changing room and patient preparation room, and the transfer zone also. The aseptic zone is mostly the core OT or the operation room, and also the scrubbing and grounding area, along with the part of CSSD. And disposal zone are the already used linen and disposal that are taken to the CSSD. So advantage of zoning is mainly it minimizes hospital infection, minimizes unproductive movement of staff, supplies, and patient, increases efficacy of the operating team members, ensures smooth workflow, decreases hazards in the operating room, ensures proper positioning of the equipments. So coming to the outer zone, it's a protective zone mostly, consists of the reception area, admission area, patient waiting area, and the patient changing area. The clean zones consist of the changing room for OR staff, the pre-op area, the block room, anesthetic room, post-recovery room, and transfer corridors for shifting of the patients to a OR. Then the aseptic zone is mostly the sterile area, that is the scrubbing, rounding, and the operating room as in the core, and part of the CSSD, where the sterilization process occurs. Then coming to the disposal area, that is where the already used materials or consumables from the OT comes to the CSSD. That is the dirty utility disposal area. From each OT, we have a hatch window. From there, it comes out to the CSSD. So these are the major components which are an integral part for making of an OT. That is operation theater wall, ceiling cladding system, laminar airflow, scrub sink, ceiling pendants, operation theater light, peripheral light, dirty hatch, pass box, writing or list boards, operation theater door. So these are all things which are important components and required to have the standards while doing it. So next important part is the AHU, that is the air handling unit, which actually has the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system. So it regulates the humidity, temperature, and everything, including the airflow. So you should have a standard AHU system, and it should be unified to each OT theater. It should be separate in a better way. And it should be running 24/7 to keep OT free from bacteria. And in ideal condition, the blower can be run without any air conditioning. Next comes the part is the HEPA filter, that is the high efficiency particulate air filter that actually filters out all the
So Mihir,
microorganisms.
10 minutes
Yes.
are over, so you probably need to wrap up fast for the other speakers.
Yeah, sure. I think there will be a timer here. Okay,
Yes,
right.
sir, the
HEPA,
timer actually rang the buzzer already.
okay, right.
Buzzer, yeah.
HEPA, okay, HEPA filter, just 1 or 2 minutes. HEPA filter usually has a vital role in maintaining the indoor air quality by reducing fine airborne particles that can harbor bacteria, virus, minimize the risk of transmission. So airflow is unidirectional from the upper to the downside and to the sides. And UVC light are used just to rule out any microorganisms and also the virus. So OT ceilings and other systems have their own specification that has to be considered according to the size of the OT which has to be done along with the lighting system. And walls have their own specifications like external walls, internal walls, in between epoxy paintings. So these are all specified. So the engineer or the architect will take care of it. So the same thing applies to the flooring also. So epoxy coating should be used, copper browning strips, and these are the modular OT's components which has to be there. So coming to the CSSD, you have a soil, clean, and sterile zone. So depending on the type of material which has been done, so the flow goes like this from the non-sterile area to the sterile area. So that has to be taken care of accordingly. So the design and planning of an OT complex will need compliance with regulations relating to the local administration such as the municipal corporation, government, pollution control board, fire safety department, water supply, and drainage department, which is absolutely mandatory. So in the present era of evidence-based medicine, it becomes imperative to give maximum importance to planning an OT theoretical complex. Efforts should be made to conform to the standards laid down by the local bodies and international agencies to avoid legal litigations. And modular OT can be adopted as they are surgeon and patient friendly, compact, aesthetically designed, safe, and conform to standards.